congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Fantastic show. How much do you feel that you lucked out getting such a great cast, first of all, but also having Sam with all of the inside information that you need to make it feel completely authentic and yet be very sensitive about the subject matter?
I think it's a really good question, and we did completely luck out. Often you make a film, a drama, but it's completely fictional, and you're trying to root it in some form of reality. But the great thing about this story is that it's a real story, but also so many of the people through Sam's book, we were able to understand and make it feel as realistic as we could. And for actors, I think as well, they love having a character like Sam who is really available to us, who would answer any of our questions. And so, it was terrific. Yeah.
And obviously, it's a sensitive matter with the royals, but also the issue of sex trafficking is a very serious one. So what, did you feel an added pressure with those two kind of things?
Yeah, I think so. It's a serious. There's a serious dimension to the film, but there's also a comedic dimension to the film, a surreal dimension to the film. The interview itself was about very, very serious things, but it also produced some extraordinary, iconic moments that have entered the public consciousness, and trying to balance those two sides of the story, the light side of the story, the serious side of the story, and create a tone that feels accessible. The film has got some bounce to it, some bite. It tells a story, with energy and pace. But I don't think it shies away from the seriousness of the subject. And I hope that in a way, as a director, you hope that a serious film doesn't need to have every single moment serious, and a comedic film doesn't need to have every moment comedic. In some ways, balancing those two things, I think, makes a richer and a deeper and a more emotional experience for the audience.
And that's one thing that's fabulous about the cast and the chemistry, is that they managed to bring that to life and make that feel so authentic. Yeah. So what's been your most favourite moment from seeing that working out in front of you?
I think my favourite moment was probably also my most scary moment, and it was when we actually started to do our version of the interview, because the interview sits at the centre of this film, and if we couldn't do it justice, or if we couldn't do it well, we wouldn't have a film. And so, a little bit into the schedule, Rufus and Gillian sat down together and started to do the interview, and it was just electric. It was magic, and you suddenly thought, okay, we're going to be okay. This is working brilliantly.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey You Guys!
Hey